All right, good evening, folks. Welcome to the first of 5 or 6 editions of the show this week. It's a new week, and we're grateful to God Almighty for making that possible. And we're back here to talk about sport, especially coming back from a weekend that had so much to talk about, so much to savor, and we're right here to unpack all what took place at the weekend, from football to Formula One to athletics. I think these 3 sports, based on the activities that we witnessed from them at the weekend, will form the fulcrum of our conversations this evening on the show. Champion Sport it is, on the radio station that ignites the fire within you. You need that fire today because it's been a cold, windy, breezy day. Thank you to God Almighty for the blessings of the rains. I'm sure a lot of persons didn't anticipate that because it caught them nappy. Yes, it did. But hey, this is Lagos. You have to hustle your way through, otherwise, Ibi. My name is Kufre Ekpe, the CCC on the MIC. I've got 2 gentlemen with me. One is a regular customer, Jude Achilles. Jude, how market?
Market is sale.
How was the weekend?
It was great. How was yours?
Oh, I can imagine you wiping off sweats from your forehead at the weekend.
I'll be small wiping.
And of course, we have a guest analyst. He's been here before. You heard his voice here, and of course, on some other radio stations. And of course, he's doing something that history in sports definitely will not forget. I mean, the first official pidgin commentator for perhaps Africa's biggest, largest pay TV. I'm talking about, yes, they call him the chief PCFR commentator, pidgin commentator of the Federal Republic. Timi Oweye, good to have you once again right here.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure to be in the studio with you, Kufre. But always happy to be here. And on Champion Sports, we're always champion, eh?
Did you wipe off sweat from your forehead at the weekend?
Well, I'm a married fan. I don't know about sweat.
Okay.
We don't sweat it, man.
Yeah. I remember now. But are you particularly convinced about your play, your game under Xabi Alonso? Well, work in progress?
Yeah, it's definitely a work in progress for Alonso, even though he's taking too much time to settle into how he really wants the boys to play. But I like the fact that he's a coach who is very dynamic. He's not static. He's not dogmatic. Like some people that had to wipe sweat off their faces over the weekend. But then it is what it is. You have to just give him time. This is his, I think, first time in Spain, coaching one of the biggest clubs in the world. So definitely he needs time to gel in and also pass that ideas of his to the players.
God help us with time today. All right, so we're going to be talking about some of the biggest highlights in the world of football that took place at the weekend. So stay with us right here. This show is definitely incomplete without your input. You are the reason why we're right here. It's evening belt, drive time, so take it easy wherever you are. And even as you listen to us via Radio Garden, Facebook, YouTube, or through the frequency direct 90.7, do join in the conversations. All right, 0906 2024 907 or 0906 2020 3907. Also send us WhatsApp, SMS across those 2 platforms if you can get across Ross. But before we go international, let's do football, and let's start from home. Like we've said 1,000,000,001 times, charity must begin at home. I don't know how you guys say it in pidgin.
Charity na pikin wey dem born for house.
Okay.
Based on say no get money for hospital.
All right then. Great. Let's start with Nigerian clubs on the continent. We saw 4 of them at the weekend, and I think 9 out of 10 people will say it was a mixed, result for Nigerian club sides at the weekend. Jude, we saw Remo Stars. I think they got the only emphatic result for a Nigerian club side at the weekend in the CAF Champions League prelim stage. GSK, they beat Zilimaju of Comoros 4-0. GSK of DR Congo goalless at home against Rivers United. Abia Warriors at home 1-1 against Joliba of Mali. Ashanti Kotoko of Ghana. It was a 7-goal thriller against Nigerian side Kwara United. You want to agree with others who say it was a mixed result for Nigerian club side. If you have to look at out of these 4 clubs, based on the result from the first legs, home and away, what do you think their fate will be at the end of the second leg of these encounters?
Well, in football, anything can happen, right? I think Remo Stars, from the scoreline, they've already, they've qualified because 4-0 against Comoros' Zilimaju, if I get the pronunciation right. So it's a big result for them. And knowing also that they were playing both games here, so it's also a huge advantage. So I think they go into the next tie with eyes closed, but not to sleep on it because it's football. Anything can happen, like I said. And the game against Rivers United, they also hold the advantage as well. They played away to the club from DR Congo. So I think with the home advantage, they can work that to their favor. Of course, it's goalless. They come here, they do their work here, ensure that they start right. They don't concede early goal, and they just do what they need to do to ensure that they move to the next stage. So we can say it's a missed result, but football can take this twist and turn. But we can also look at the game, the CAF Confederation Cup ties, the one between Kwara United and Asante Kotoko. So it's a good one for me. What I can take from this game is the fight of Kwara United. 4-3. They clawed one back. They were losing 4-2, so they clawed one back 4-3. So they come home too with that home advantage as well. So they have everything to play for here, with home advantage also speaking for them. So I think that game will be in Abeokuta. So I think they have everything going on for them as well. So the other game, Abia Warriors against the Joliba of Mali, I'm not too sure because they have everything here for them, but they drew the game 1-1, and it's not too good for Nigerian clubs as well. In this particular competition, where a competition that has been dominated by northern, African clubs. We've seen the likes of Moroccan clubs. They've won this title 8 times. And we've seen Tunisia clubs, they've won the title 5 times, and the last one was won by Moroccan club as well, RS Berkane against Simba FC. So, and that is also a Moroccan club as well. So they really need to do their best to see that there's this negativity around NPFL, like Nigerian clubs, looking at the Deshan competition from the boys, how they performed woefully. A lot of talks have been going on that look, these boys, the competition, the league is bad, and that's why we're showing out this kind of players. Right, so they need to do their best to put us in the positive light that okay, we're seeing some improvement, and the only team that has done that for us in these ties is Remo Stars. They've acted like champions, beating the Comoros club, Zilimaju, and they've done that perfectly well. So kudos to them.
To me, looking at these 4 Nigerian club sides and the result that they have returned, I don't think that it's even the stage that we should be talking about, right? We should be talking about Nigerian club sides making it into the group stages of these 2 CAF inter-club competitions. Rivers United, Remo Stars have been down this road before. They have the experience, unlike Kwara United and Abia Warriors. What is your experience on the job with regards to how Nigerian teams play on the continent? What is it telling you with regards to the result that we've gotten, and how you think, if you want to permutate, this season will go for them?
Well, first off, I think I will toe the line of Hercules here, saying that the Nigerian league is not in good light in terms of organization, churning out good players. You look at it critically, for Remo Stars, they've been here over and over and over again, but they've not been able to get into that group stage. Yeah. Let's not get carried away with the score margin that they had against Zilimaju. They are playing Zilimaju more or less on the neutral ground. Yeah. For them, okay, well, they were at home at first, but then Zilimaju will still play in Abeokuta in the second leg. And more or less, I don't think any Comoros club should be threatening any Nigerian club for starters. The same way we said that Sudan shouldn't beat us at the Chan. Now we mess up now. Now we mess up. So if we mess up, now then they always get upper hand. So, but the truth of the matter is, for Remo Stars, I expect them to go over Zilimaju, like it or not. The bigger test for me is Mamelodi Sundown waiting for them in the next round. But apart from that, I don't think they will get into the group stages because first off, Mamelodi Sundowns will knock them out. I'm not trying to be negative here, but it's just the truth. The only club I am feeling will get as far as the group stages might just be Rivers United because they've been here before, they've done it. We've seen them go out from group stages and getting into quarterfinals over and over again, even though sometimes it's always difficult for them to get out of the group stages. And also, you have to reference the likes of Eyimba, who also have the experience on the continent. When they go, whether in a CAF Confederations Cup or even CAF Champions League, they tend to always get into the group stages. But for these other clubs, I think it's going to be very difficult. I won't sit here and just try to sugarcoat things. Maybe Remo Stars might try. Against Mamelodi Sundowns, it's going to be tough. That one I know, because South Africans, once they hear Senegal Nigeria would they play, they be like Ghana to us. Once they hear Senegal Nigeria would they play, they just redouble their effort. So for me, I feel Remo Stars, yes, might go through to the next round, but they might just be knocked out by Mamelodi Sundowns. For Kwara United, the coach, I heard him earlier today, he was talking tough. Tunde Sani, he was saying, made them come Nigeria. I said I go hear him because why? He scored 3 goals away from home, and you have to give it to him. The only worry I have for Kwara United is I don't know if the boys will be able to settle well into the MKO Abiola Stadium, because these are boys who have mastered the Ilorin Township Stadium. If you've gone to Ilorin Township Stadium before, it's like I don't know if you've gone to Agege Stadium, it's just like Agege Stadium, very compact, very closely
knitted.
Fans, exactly, the fans are close to the pitch itself. So for them going to that kind of a big stadium where the fans are far away, you will not have your home fans. I don't know how it's going to work for them, but with 3 goals away from home, you expect that they will come back home and do their whole assignment in terms of defending well against Kotoko. But let's just see how it goes. But for me, I would just say Abia Warriors definitely are out. I don't think they will go to Mali and get result there. I think Joliba will just edge them out. For Kwara United, I'm having hopes for them. For Rivers United, fantastic result away from home, goalless. They can come home and finish off in Port Harcourt, or more or less in Uyo. I think they're using the Uyo Stadium. And so those are the clubs I think will go into the next round. Remo Stars, Rivers United, and most like maybe, just maybe, Kwara United might just nip it.
All right, because of time, let's just move on, right? Let's talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. We had match day 5 games at the weekend. One is currently ongoing, and that's was that fixture again? Katsina United against Wiki Tourist. As at the time we came into the studio, Katsina United were leading by 1-0. We'll check that result for you later. But we had about 5 fixtures at the weekend by virtue of the fact that Remo Stars, Rivers United, Kwara United and Abia Warriors playing on the continent. Their matches were postponed by the organizers of the MPFL. So we had 5 games at the weekend, and the 6th one currently ongoing between Katsina United and Wiki Tourist. We saw Bayelsa United. What's happening to Bayelsa United? They lost at home again, 1-2 to Nasarawa United. El Academy Warrior beat Warri Wolves, who started first 2 games of the season, 2 wins for them, but they've been losing ground. All right, altitude. As a matter of fact, they lost 1-0 to El Academy Warriors. Eyimba, it was a 5-goal thriller. They beat Insurance. That was a big game over the weekend. Eyimba won that one 3-2. As a matter of fact, there was another game that had more goals than that game between Eyimba and Insurance, and that was Ikorodu City going to Niger Tornadoes, losing 4-2. Shooting Stars, first win of the season, 2-1 against struggling Kun Khalifa, and like I told you, a live game between Katsina United and Wiki Tourist. Timmy, your initial thoughts on the first 5 match days of the league so far. Barra FC, I don't think they've scored more than 1 or scored at all so far this season. Kun Khalifa, these are 2 of the 4 teams who came through from the Nigeria National League. They are struggling. They're in the red zone of the table.
Well, experience would always play a part when you're playing the Nigerian Premier Football League, like it or not. For Kun Khalifa, I think they will really struggle in terms of how well they get points away from home, especially because that's one of the biggest burden for any club playing in the NPFL. They might get wins at home, definitely. You expect them to win at home, but away from home, it's going to be very, very difficult. Even in their own ground, where they are using the Aba International Stadium, I think it's going to still be very difficult, because more or less, if teams will know that stadium, they will want to take advantage against them. But having said all of that, Barao FC also, I think they will struggle, because these are privately owned club that won't have the spending power to lure experienced players into their squad. So I really don't see them going as far. For Ikorodu City, they are the ones doing magic at this point in time. Last season, they almost finished in the continental slots. They even got as far as the semi-finals of the Federation Cup. And so you have to give it to them that they are just one of a kind. But then you look at the table critically, you look at the big teams, Rivers United, Enyimba in there, Remo Stars are winning. Enyimba still unbeaten so far. Rivers United, before they went to the continent, they were still unbeaten. So these are experienced sides. These are sides who are always competing for the title. You won't look far-fetched to get them going into the season. But the worry for me here is Shooting Stars. But I won't take anything away from them. They have a new management, and our guy Toby Samuel is a sporting director, even leaving Ikorodu City. So for Shooting Stars, I think it's still a teething problem for them. They're trying to arrange and make sure they have very good squad going far into the season. Last season, we saw how good they were with Gbenga Ogunbote, but he just couldn't get them that continental slot. He's been sacked now, and they've brought in that man from Ikorodu City. So I expect that in due time, in due course, they might just start to settle in and start getting those points. But overall, you just have to say those newcomers, the JJCs, them, they're still going to struggle. But then the experienced side, Kano Pillars, Enyimba and the rest of them
you might have this insight. You've already said that Shooting Stars brought the manager of Ikorodu City from last season to be the coach of Shooting Stars. Did Shooting Stars raid Ikorodu City?
Well, it's not raid.
Because I'm trying to tie their inconsistency at the start of the season together. Ikorodu City, yes, they've drawn 3 matches. They've won 1, they've lost 1. Shooting Stars just won their first game. And so both of them are quite unstable as we speak. If you consider the way Ikorodu City ended last season, almost nicking that continental slot. Also looking at the pedigree of Shooting Stars, both of them are a bit shaky now at the start of the season. So I'm looking at whether Shooting Stars, after sacking Ogumbote, as a matter of fact, the backroom staff of Gbenga Ogunbote as well left. And so new guys on the front burner for them. Maybe that is why they've not been able to stabilize or steady the ship at the start of the season. Quite understandable. Ikorodu City, if Shooting Stars raided them, because obviously the coach living there, Toby Samuel as well living there, you definitely will have 1 or 2 players there that will tickle your fancy. You want to bring over to the Ibadan side.
Yeah, I think that might play a part in their inconsistency so far, for especially Shooting Stars. I think for Ikorodu City, they kept bulk of their players from last season, apart from a few of them that left for greener pastures abroad.
Okay.
But for Shooting Stars, I think the worry will be for Shooting Stars, because changing your backroom staff, the coaching staff, it will take a while for the new coach to come in and start imputing his ideas into these players who are used to more or less a former manager who got them as high as 6th, 7th position on the league table. So bringing that new style, bringing that new strategy will be a burden for the new hierarchy of Shooting Stars. I think that's the only problem they might have. But for Ikorodu City, I think they still kept bulk of their players, and for me, the thing will just be that they might just need to just blend in with the new coach who is at the helms of affair. Let's not forget, Shooting Stars, according to the reports that we heard when the season was about to start, they said they had to let go so many players who were not on contract.
Okay.
So they brought in players, or they kept players that they felt had good contract, and these players are young players, maybe more or less players who were even playing in the academy that had to be graduated into
Shooting Stars last season had players who had no contract with the team.
Yeah, that's what the director said.
How did that fly?
Kufre,
with the Nigeria Premier Football League guys?
It's always a theme with Nigerian football. It's always a theme with Nigerian clubs. Most times what you hear is third-party ownerships with some of these players. The player might just come and say, hey, I'm just going to sign for you for 6 months. January, I will leave. Because when a club comes calling for me, or when my agent finally gets a club, I just want to leave. So most of the time, it's about the player's agent owning their transfer certificate or holding on to it, so that it will be like a third-party ownership. The agent owning the player, but loaning him to the club he's playing for. That's why most times these players don't sign a long-term contract, 2 years contract, 3 years contract. You hardly see it from Nigerian football, except for very few clubs like Enyimba, Kano Pillars. Those are the clubs I can attest to that. I can say yes, they can get the players to sit down and sign for them for at least 2 years or even 1 year. But for the other clubs, I can't guarantee players signing for them on a long term. All
right, because of time, let's leave the NPFL. Let's talk about quickly the Golden Eaglets, right? They are playing in the WAFU Zone B under 17 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers in Yamoussoukro in Cote d'Ivoire. They have a game on Wednesday against Benin Republic, who were beaten yesterday by Burkina Faso 1-0 in Group B. what do you think it's going to be the temperature of the game, Jude, on Wednesday when Nigeria, the Golden Eaglets, don't forget they didn't qualify for the AFCON last time out, and so they are back with the same manager. What do you think the temperature will be for them? They need to qualify, they need to win the championship. Benin Republic know that if they lose this game on Wednesday, they're out of contention.
Well, I think, it has to be the objective, to qualify. The reason why you play in this game is for you to, to get the ultimate prize, for you to be, in the best of the competition. So that's what they need to do. I think the coach understands the assignment. The boys also understand, they also understand the assignment as well to get the job done. And that's what they need to do. Go in there, get the result, and, be on the front foot. And that is what is expected. What is expected is to get the job done, and they must do that.
Timmy, why always Manu Garba? I've asked this question before. I just want to know if there is something else there. But why always Manu Garba?
Well, I think he's very experienced at this level. Himself and Nduka Ogbade, let's not forget that. But then I think there comes a point in time that the NFF needs to realize that this coach needs to be reshuffled for new and fresher ideas. But for Manu Garba, more or less, he get leg. I would say he get leg. Apart from that, also.
So now because he get leg, that is why it's always him.
Yes, now. These things are. It's just that we don't have the powers to start exposing.
Okay, so if the explanation for not giving Nduka Ogbade a second-year contract after not qualifying, not leading them to qualify for the World Cup, I think they were beaten during that AFCON in the quarterfinal stage by Senegal or so. And so because of that, we didn't qualify for the World Cup. The next year, the NFF decided to bring Manu Garba back because maybe for the obvious reason, Ogbade could not make it to the World Cup. But last year, Manu Garba could not win the WAFU B competition to qualify them for the AFCON. And this year is back.
And that's the worry, because for me, that's why I said you need to reshuffle these things most of the times, because even Nduka Ogbade shouldn't be coaching the under-17
yes,
at this
beyond Manu Garba and Nduka Ogbade, we have some young cats who can do the job.
There's an Olaniwaju who is assistant
Yemi.
You can bring in some younger coaches. There's this coach who coached Sporting Lagos some time ago. There are very young coaches who could just turn things around for the under-17. But then again, nepotism and the rest of them with NFF plays a big part, a huge chunk. And also, let's not forget, sometimes they use this criteria of national, how do they call it? There's this trying to sort things out according to tribes and according to
federal character.
Federal character, exactly. So at this point, they want to also play that part. Hey, no coach from the north, the northern chairman them from the FA who starts saying, hey, we need somebody from the north. So all these things play a part. Nepotism and the rest of them will not let us pick the right coach that is supposed to do the right job for the Golden Eaglets. We
wish them the very best on Wednesday as they take on Benin Republic. All right, quickly to the Nigerian players. We saw a couple of them do good at the weekend. Jude, we saw Terry Murphy, Onuachu, Alex Iwobi, Gift Orban, Cyril Dessers. I think this is his second goal after that is it unsavory press release from the NFF. Second goal for him in the colours of Panathinaikos across all competitions.
Yeah, good one for them. And for Terry Murphy, like we spoke about him on Saturday, I'm particularly happy for him, having that, that ACL challenge over 200 days, to stay that long, from football action for 8 to 9 months. I mean, is a lot. Now it's back, to help the team scoring goals. What a way to start, and also to build his confidence as well. So I'm happy for him, and we hope that it continues like this, so he can get, a call up. Also, it was also included in the list.
Yeah, but the final one,
of course. So, but I think with more hard work, more commitment, dedication, and determination, is going to get that spot, and definitely his light is going to shine. So let's for Alex Iwobi, I'm just waiting to see this Fulham Alex Iwobi play for Nigeria.
You won't see it.
Well, why?
You won't see it because they don't allow him play the kind of position he plays for Fulham.
I was actually going to that because I've noticed that under Marco Silva, I see that he plays from more like the left side. more like the left side, and he has this free role too, where he can contribute to our attack, and also his work rate.
He also has a free role in the Super Eagles.
No, he's limited.
Exactly, he's limited. You look at the way he plays for the Super Eagles. He's always in the central position. He hardly shifts to that left side. And that's the worry for me. And most times when he plays for the Super Eagles, he doesn't have that confidence. There's not that aura of being on the ball like
the control he has with Fulham.
It's like with Fulham, Marco Silva gives him that key.
That freedom.
Just do your thing. But with the Super Eagles, he's always caged. And let's not forget, most times he's always playing with Wilfred Ndidi and maybe Frank Onyeka, who are also trying to bump forward. So everybody's trying to bump forward. Nobody's trying to do that dirty job in terms of holding play,
win
midfield
and release.
Exactly. He has Bedge.
Everybody wants to play.
He has Bedge doing that job for him at Fulham. So he has this, there's this confidence when you know that you have
a cover.
A cover. So that's what I've seen with him with Fulham. He's flying for Fulham. He won the Man of the Match award, and he also played fantastically well against Manchester United because it was contribution that led to the equalizer. So he has been really, really good for Fulham. So I'm waiting to see this Alex Iwobi, in the colours of Nigeria. So.
Yeah, because of time, when you see our players, because Murphy, Onuachu, Iwobi, Gift Urban, Dessa, these guys, almost all of them are consistent scoring goals. Before you know, now, once Ademola Lookman start playing regularly for Atalanta, Victor Osimhen is back from injury, you see them scoring regularly for their club sides. And why is it difficult for national team coaches to look at this and try to mend or bend the games of the Super Eagles to fit these guys so that we can have same results?
I think
something close to that.
Most of the coaches that have come to Nigeria are over trying to do tactical. Look at Genoro when he came to Nigeria the first time. He wasn't really about the tactics. He was hell-bent on managing these players, managing their ego, trying to persuade them to, okay, let's play this style. Let's play as a team. But most of the coaches that have come to Nigeria ever since he left are coaches who are trying to bend these boys to play from different positions. Look at, for crying out loud, why would Ademola Lookman be playing as a 10 for our qualifiers? Why? Because he's not used to it. He has not played that for his national team in the past. He's not playing that at Atlanta. So why will Eric Kiel start playing him as a 10, drifting him away from the left position? So all these things are the...
Let me put you on the spot. Moses Simon, Ademola Lookman. Because that's the bone of contention.
It has to be Ademola Lookman because he scores goals. Moses Simon, I like him. He's a workaholic. He can defend. He can track back. But then he's not giving us those crosses and those dazzling runs.
Offensive outputs, yeah.
But when you talk about the final output from a player, it has to be Ademola Lookman.
So that means for you, Simon will have to sit on the bench or go play on the right?
Yeah, he has to play on the right because definitely what Simon does from the left is more or less try to dribble, cut to his right or cut to his left and cross. So he can also do that on the right wing instead of trying to bring Samuel Chukwueze to play from the right wing because he's trying to do inverted wingers and the rest of them. Just play Ademola Lookman in his rightful position, play Osimhen at 9, play somebody else to cross the ball from the right side to Osimhen, and we are balanced.
And then give
Alex Iwobi
that
chance,
freedom.
that freedom, and make sure whoever is pairing Wilfred Ndidi, because we know Wilfred Ndidi, when he comes to Nigeria, he wants to try to attack, he wants to score goals. He has not scored any goal for Nigeria.
Tell him to sit deep.
Just sit deep, or better still, play somebody who can complement him in sitting deep, in pressing like Rafael Onyedika, who has been doing fantastically well for Club Brugge.
Quick 30 seconds for each. Are we seeing a rebirth of Kelechi Iheanacho?
For where?
Well, I think there is.
For where?
Yes. Yeah, there is. Because look, he has gone to Celtic. Yeah, we also know the size of the league as well. We can't compare to other leagues that he has played in.
Spain,
England, of course, we can't compare. But we are looking at the relationship he once formed with Brendan Rodgers, right? He helped him. His best ever season was under Brendan Rodgers, where he scored, I think, almost 19 goals that season. And they also had a trophy, to mark their good relationship, the FA Cup victory that season. So, and looking at how the move that he made to Celtic, Brendan Rodgers, a report also where he said that they want to help him, reinvent himself. They want to get him back to his best. That is not after his match fitness now, that he sees his quality, what he can do. And I think every player that wants to perform wants to hear that from his manager. I think Brendan Rodgers understands Kelechi Iheanacho. Yeah, I'm not particularly happy about, we had high expectations for Kelechi Iheanacho from the under-17 to Manchester City. So there was this lofty height that we were hoping, expecting that he gets to, but he just couldn't reach that level. But it's also good to see him now working with someone who understands him, and we hope that this man can help him find himself again.
Timmy, you're not buying this argument.
I'm not buying it because he will just
No
flat
matter how
out
cheap it is.
No, he will flat out to deceive in this first season.
One goal, one assist.
Hey, what's his name? Kelechi Iheanacho has always done this over and over and over again. He will have a fantastic season. The next 2 seasons, he will just go off. I think he's that kind of a player. Man, I know they talk with him, but because I've heard stories about him. I know him more or less from a close range. Even before he moved to Manchester City, I've heard so many stories about him. So for Kelechi Iheanacho, he's not that kind of player who will give you season in, season out kind of performance. Yes, this first season, if he try, but after this season, watch out, he go slack again.
Well, we'll see now.
Okay.
I hope he doesn't.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
But then he's not that kind of player.
Before we go to other sport quickly, let's tell you that Victor Osimhen and Wilfred Ndidi are back in training. So that's some level of good news for us. And hopefully they get back to playing competitive football for their respective club sides in Turkey. Both of them play in Turkey for Galatasaray and Besiktas respectively. Let's quickly do other sports. Your thoughts, Timmy, about Team Nigeria's scorecard at the World Athletics Championship. Just one silver medal and 27th joins 27 with 13 other countries who won silver. But again, compare them. Maybe you can't compare them. Botswana finished 5th overall with 2 gold, 1 silver, and 1 bronze medals. And the president of the country says that we are declaring on the 29th of September, I think a day before their Independence Day celebration, a public holiday to celebrate their best ever return from the World Athletics Championship. And also, somehow, look at Kenya, who are minding their business when it comes to this business. Finished 2nd with 7 gold, 2 silver, and 2 bronze medals. We were talking about this before we came into the studio. In terms of minding their business, no field events, no short distances, just long distances. The least of those distances is 800 meters.
And that's about focusing on your strength, focusing on what you believe can bring you medals. For Nigeria, over the years, it has always been the short distance races, the sprints, 200 meters, 100 meters, 100-meter hurdle, 100-meter dash, maybe 400-meter. Yes, we can go that also. But we've, in a way, switched our attention away from these majors that we used to get medals from. I'm the only thing that makes me happy is the fact that Tobi Amusan was able to get a medal after a disastrous Olympics from last year. That's the only joy I have. But for Nigeria as a whole, I think we're not prepared going into this tournament because we really didn't fine-tune some of the athletes to even be prepared for this. I heard one of the athletes was saying, they just make a go run and not prepare for this race. He was saying that. He was coming out to the press to say that. The only person also who tried his best was a first-timer, Kanyisola Ajayi, who tried to just do something. And everybody now is saying, hey, he might just be the next Fashiba. But then again, what investment is AFN putting into him to make sure that in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, we will see a Kanyisola Ajayi that will be competing with the world in terms of the 100-meter race. Let's take out Tobi Amusan, who again can shed the light for us in terms of bringing us medals.
Ezekiel Nathaniel too.
Ese Brume. Okay, yes, Ezekiel Nathaniel. Yeah. And for Ezekiel Nathaniel, it's just been this year because this year he's just been rising from his records in NCAA, making sure he's going for so many Diamond Leagues competition and I think he got third at some point in one of the Diamond League, I think in Switzerland thereabout, before this World Championship. So for Nathaniel Ezekiel, he's the future. 22 years old. I hope that he will continue to build on this momentum and go from here. But for the others, I expect that the AFN will be able to invest into this athlete, encourage them. Let's not forget Ese Brume too, who she's doing very well on the track, on the field in terms of the long jump. Let's just hope that we'll begin to focus on our majors so that we can get medals in future competitions.
All right, man. Time for fast spent. We have so much to cover. So let's quickly get back to football. Let's look at the big games that transpired at the weekend. Where do we start from? Let's start from the Merseyside derby. We always knew it was going to be a tight one. I mean, if you look at the stats, the thin line between what Liverpool did and what Everton as well contributed. Now, we understand that there's pressure on their manager as well, talking about David Moyes at Goodison Park. But again, your thoughts, you guys, about that. Liverpool, are they unstoppable as far as this season is concerned?
Well, they are not unstoppable. But the truth is, there's nothing like having a good start to a season, and that's what they've had. Picking points where it matters. We saw how they came from behind. It has become a knack for them against Bournemouth. We saw that against Newcastle. We saw that, and even against Arsenal, where a game that would have ended in a draw. They just look for a way around it to win. And that's what champions are made of. And that's what we saw in Liverpool. The same fight, the same hunger, the same determination. And there are moments that are defining when it comes to winning trophies. And when you understand this moment and you seize to this moment, that's what makes you a champion. Look at Barcelona. It's not about beating these small fries, just to put it that way, or like the minors, right? It's going into these big games and getting results, because these are your direct competition. If you could beat an Arsenal, you could beat Man City, beat Man United, or even Chelsea. You're sending the alarm bell to others that, look, we are not just here. We're here to win the title. So they are not unstoppable, but they've started really well, and that's what takes you for the long haul. And that's what they've done.
Timmy, 30 seconds. Do you think that Liverpool have shown what it takes to defend this title? I mean, if they are nicking out results based on last-minute efforts against some of these teams, they can do that consistently. And when the time comes for them to, easily beat teams and get 3 points consecutively, they can as well show up.
Well, attacking-wise, they have all the players. I think the problem for them is their defense. They are just one injury away now from crumbling. You look at their back line. Apart from Virgil van Dijk and Konate, they only have Joe Gomez and Doak as backups to their defenses, and so that's the worry for me. And the two most experienced players who are playing in their defense are leaking in goals. Talk about Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate. So I think that's a worry for me for them going forward. They are scoring goals, yes, but then again, if a proper team plays them and attacks them well, they might just crumble. This last minute goals might not help them on that day. Like they always say, defenses win you championships. I don't think Liverpool have shown me that they can defend and win championship, because every now and then they keep shipping in goals. You watch that match against Atletico Madrid, they were 2 goals all, but somehow Atletico Madrid came in with extra power and got those 2 goals. You watch the same thing happen also against Newcastle. The same thing almost happened against Bournemouth before they scored extra 2 goals. Now, let's not forget, against Everton, they were just fantastic in the first half. After that first half, nothing came out from that second half. Everton were all over them. Against Burnley, they were struggling to break that Burnley side that were defensively structured. So it tells you a story that Liverpool, yes, attacking wise, they've got the players, they've got some new signings who can score goals for them, but defensively, I think they're going to have a problem on the wrong road.
10 seconds. Do you think that they're going to burn out at some points if they continue to exert all the efforts on getting results up until extra minutes of each game?
Yeah, they will. They will burn out, because in the end, you keep using this energy, and like it or not, some of your key players will start copping injuries. Ryan Gravenberch, McAllister, talk about Jeboslai, who you've used as a right wing back. Even Virgil. My worry for them is just that centre back. Virgil van Dijk, Ibrahima Konate. These are the 2 most experienced players. You begin to wonder, why sell Jarell Quansah when you know you don't have a cover up? Joe Gomez is prone to injury. You put in a Joe Gomez today, he might play 60 minutes. The next match, he's injured. So I think my worry for Liverpool going forward is the fact that they don't have a solid defense, and that might just be their undoing in this season.
Let's talk about the Arsenal against Manchester City game on Sunday. Was it Mikel Arteta who cost, I start with you, Jude, who cost Arsenal all 3 points?
Well, if you ask me, one reason why Arsenal might not win the league, I'll tell you, is Arteta. Arteta is the reason. I told you last season, Champions League against PSG. Arteta, I think it is mentality. I don't understand why. Now they have the quality, now they have the depth, right? If only Arteta, can play this Arsenal team, to their strength, their quality, and their depth, I tell you, they will be unstoppable. I don't understand why you would start Zubimendi, a DM, and you start Declan Rice, a DM, and you start Merino, a centre forward, and he was even restricted in his role. More like even playing like you have 3 DMs, right? And you see, and that is where you know I don't understand Arteta most times. I tell you, his problem is this selection. The selection, and this selection is just reflecting his cowardice most times in big games and big moments. And I tell you, the only time he shows to be brave was when Arsenal, you know, seized control, and that was because of the substitutions they made, attacking substitutions. He brought in Eze, brought in Saka, and he did something that I also love. When they were chasing the game, he took out Timber and he brought in Nwaneri. So I don't understand why you waited, you know, till that moment. And you know, a lot of things about Arteta that he needs to really change if Arsenal wants to win title. His mentality is one, and also he needs to work on his decision making when it comes to selection. That is a big drawback for him.
Timmy, is he having selection challenges with all of these players that he's got at his disposal? I mean, is he also overthinking his calculations against big teams like Liverpool and Manchester City? Maybe first 60 minutes of the game, let us defend them and not concede, and then I can introduce these attacking players and maybe score 1, score 2 if possible, and then we win the game and get all points.
I think I will agree with you on the second part where he's overthinking these tactics, because like Jude rightly said, when you play 2 DMs, you don't have to play an extra DM to cover up in terms of attacking play. The best coaches in this world, when they play attacking football, they always have wingers, 2 wingers, whether inverted or not, 2 wingers on the sidelines, and a central attacking midfielder who would always try to lock things out from that central position. That's what tactical astute managers do. For Mikel Arteta, I don't know, he's repeated this mistake over and over again. When you have a 2 DM, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, it's enough. Just bring in an enforcer, somebody who can distribute the ball in the midfield. So because
I'm thinking that if Martin Odegaard was free, he would have played that game.
So
why not play?
If you're afraid of saying, okay, maybe you don't want to concede, you have a 2 central, more or less defensive midfielder who can cover up for you. So what's this mentality of trying to be just defensive,
playing safe and staying safe?
It's not helping us now, and I feel that on the long run, it's their mentality that will make them win this title.
I did say that we shouldn't be the only one conversing on the show today. So the phone lines are now officially open. You can call us and let's have your contributions on the show. 0906 2023 907 or 0906 2024 907. Once again, 0906 2023 907 or 0906 2024 907. What do you say about the defensive play of Manchester City under Pep Guardiola against someone that he taught the job against Arsenal in this fixture?
I think, to be fair to Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, I think he lacked attacking players in that squad. You look at the bench he had for that match, the only attacking player he had was Savinho. Like it or not, and maybe Boboska. I don't think Boboska was even on the bench, but it was only Savinho who was the attacking player in that match. Ryan Cherki is injured. Omar Makmouche is injured. So you have to give it to him that for every sub he was going to do that yesterday, it was definitely going to be a defensive player or a defensive-minded player coming in, because then you look at him, he didn't have most of his attacking player. But having said all of that, I think it's beginning to dawn on him that, hey, it is not always about tiki-taka. Sometimes just save the game. Because at that point, even before they scored that goal, Arsenal were dominating them. So he knew that it was going to be very difficult coming to Arsenal. And knowing that he's not beaten Mikel Arteta in the last 4 games prior to that yesterday's game, told a lot about how he came out to force a defensive play. So in all of this, I feel Mikel Arteta just could have won that match if he knew that Pep Guardiola was going to defend for 90 minutes. Or
if he knew that Pep was already scared coming to Emery to play against him. Quickly.
Well, you know, I'll say that, you know, for Pep Guardiola, to be honest, is very uncharacteristic of a Pep Guardiola team, you know, to be defending. Because yesterday, what really baffled me was the formation he played when out of possession. They pressed with a 4-4-3-3, and mid block they used the 4-4-2, and the low block they were playing 5-4-1. At some point, to tell you how the pressure was on them, Guardiola at the time, you know, they were playing like they were more than even 5 at the back. they were playing for their lives more than even 3 points at that particular time. So the defensive approach for me, I don't think it was right. The only player I saw, and yes, give it to him too, that probably not that he didn't have most of his players. Yeah, we are in Sheki. Of course, we know Sheki has not really been Sheki, so to say. And but he had Foden, he had Bernardo Silva in that game. But the truth of the matter is they didn't turn up in that particular game. The only player that we saw that was moving balls from danger position to threat position was Doku, which of course he was very, as a matter of fact, is an asset for Pep Guardiola this season. We saw what he did against Man City. Yeah. We saw what he did against Napoli.
In the Champions League,
weaving through the defense. And the same thing we saw again against Arsenal, and it was the reason why that terrible defending happened that led to the goal that Alan scored, because that was a terrible defending from Gabriel, because Alan was the only player that was direct at goal. Doku was not a direct threat at goal. So now you see all of these things. I'm just baffled, and I'm surprised that Guardiola played a 5-4-1 out of possession against Arsenal. So defensive. I felt that substitution that Arteta made him panicked, and City retreated.
All right. So if we are dishing out sticks to Mikel Arteta, to Pep Guardiola, what are we going to do to Enzo Maresca? That takes us to the game between Manchester United and Chelsea as well on Saturday, and Manchester United winning by 2-1. So what do you guys make of those substitutions? The first one, very, very understandable. Goalkeeper red carded. You need to bring in a reserve goalkeeper, and so that means you have to pull out one outfield player. And who suffered for that one? Estawash. Now, so what explained, or how has he explained the subsequent substitutions within the first 21 minutes of that encounter?
I think he also panicked. After that red card, he panicked. I think he lost ideas of what to do. He wanted to just defend for that first half and see maybe after, maybe during halftime, he was going to rearrange the squad and rearrange his tactics, but it didn't work for him that way. United got those 2 goals in that first half and made sure they got that 3 points. But for Maresca, I think it was a tactical blunder in terms of removing Pedro, another winger. Yes, you might say Cole Palmer also had injury in that game, so definitely played some part in him not having that attacking firepower. But having said all of this, I think it was a disastrous mistake from him that really, really cost him, because we've seen teams play one man less and go on to win games. And against this Manchester United side, who are not really high on confidence,
exactly,
you would have expected that, hey,
exercise some level of patience
and just wait out for that first half and see how it goes. But I think he panicked, and that really cost Chelsea a point in that game against Manchester United.
I'm just thinking what he would have been thinking when Casemiro was red carded, and say,
now
everything's now restored.
Yeah, exactly. So he actually hit the panic button, when Sanchez got the red card.
But I thought the playbook is that once you are red carded, just try to see how you can tell the boys on the field not to panic, stabilize the situation. Let us have more time to think. Let us wear our opponent off and see what we're able to do coming from the bench, and not immediately reacting to the situation.
Yeah, what he was supposed to do what Amorim did when Casemiro was sent off. Yeah, we know that they had the advantage already, but what Casemiro did was what we already said here before that change was done. We said that was going to take out Šeško and bring in Ugarte, and that's what he did. And that was what was also expected from Maresca to do. Just take out one of the attacking players, either João Pedro, or you take out William. Take out any of those players, Savao, you take out any of them, and the game is balanced. You can attack like that as well. It's more like it wasn't planned; it happened. So he panicked, and that was he actually handed that game to Manchester United, because if you look at the dying embers of that game, they came out and they played better. As a matter of fact, United, they were now playing for just to win, and they playing just to win and to save a point and just to get off this criticism and this pressure on Amorim and on the boys as well. So it was a good one for United, but Maresca, a really poor decision from him.
And I think if they had Cole Palmer still on that field, maybe they could have had a chance to
exactly,
because Cole Palmer also going out really shook them a bit, and they just couldn't have that attacking threat again against Man U.
Let's go to Spain. Is everything all right at your club, Real Madrid? I mean, we saw what the antics or tantrum of perhaps the unofficial golden boy of Real Madrid, Vinicius Jr. What's happening with Xabi Alonso? And I don't know. Tell us.
Everything is not right. To be fair, to be frank, Vinicius is not happy, and that's the truth of the matter. This used to be the star boy of Real Madrid after Karim Benzema left the club, and for you now to be relegated to the background because Mbappe is now the star boy tells a lot. And let's not forget that at this point he's trying to renegotiate his contract with Real Madrid, and he's trying to make sure that he becomes a key part of this squad so that he can have a bargaining chip in terms of that money he wants to get from Real Madrid. So things are not just working well for him, and all this is happening because Alonso has promised Rodrigo that don't worry, because you just want to play on the left side and you are still wanting to play for Real Madrid, we're going to give you time, and it will just be Vinicius, because that's the only changes he's been making. Anytime Vinicius is going off, he's bringing in Rodrigo just to make sure Rodrigo keeps playing and keeps having time. For me, I think the problem right now is that...
What about the guy that plays from the right-hand side for Real Madrid? Why can't he replace Rodrigo with...
Rodrigo has demanded that he wants to play from the left wing.
From the left side.
Yeah, he says he wants to play from the left wing. And over
That's
time,
his position.
Yes, and
playing
over
from
time,
the right side is playing out of position.
Yes, exactly. And over time, playing on that right side, he's not been influential enough in recent times. So he wants to go back to the left side where he feels he can be very influential.
Wow, great troubles perhaps brewing at the Santiago Bernabeu. But I mean, when Carlo Ancelotti was right there, I think he managed the situation very well. Even with all the tantrums that Vinicius Junior was throwing, he was still defending him, saying that he's the best in the world, and all of that, just trying to make him happy. But I say Xabi no send them. No, is it also possible to think that Xabi is also working for the institution?
Well,
because if Vinicius Junior doesn't play the number of minutes or games that he's supposed to play, he doesn't have that bargaining chip to demand for more from the hierarchy.
To be fair on Xabi Alonso, I think Vinicius Junior has not been at that level, that 2022 level, that 2024 level. He's not been at that level since last season. So I want to give Xabi that benefit of doubt that, hey, because Vinicius Junior has not been at that level, maybe he can always come off and maybe gradually he can get into that level again. And let's not forget, Vinicius Junior has always shone at Real Madrid in the second part of every season. From January 9, they always shine. So maybe in January he'll start again, he'll pick up.
He's still revving.
Yeah, it's more or less. Like he's always revving early on in the season. So I expect that he will keep being the guy that will be substituted every now and then for Rodrigo.
Okay, we'll talk about Marcus Rashford and the Ballon d'Or tonight because time is fast spent, and then we'll call it a wrap on the show today. Rashford was just 2 minutes late for the meeting, which cost him his place in Barcelona's side against Getafe on Sunday. The 27-year-old was expected to start after scoring a brace in midweek in the Champions League against Newcastle United, but was left on the bench. Barca players were due in on the day of the Getafe game at 9:30 a.m. ahead of a meeting and an activation session at 11 a.m. According to reports, Rashford checked in at 9:32 a.m. with coach Hansi Flick enforcing a rule which meant the English forward started the game among the substitutes with Rafinha, Ferran Torres and Robert Lewandowski in attack. I mean, I hope we're not seeing the old Marcus Rashford.
After I scored 2 goals.
Yeah, the last time we spoke about Rashford, I told you, I said standard, right? So now he's going to a club where he has someone who is in charge. Your size as a player does not even matter. There's a rule already. You must fall in place. You must obey what is the established rule there as a player. So and for Rashford, it's not really good for him. I don't know what happened, but these are the things that make you professional. Look at the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at the likes of Lionel Messi, and some other great players as well. You have to do your job, and you have to respect the rules that have been laid down by the manager. And it's also good for the manager to enforce this law, because whether he's a star player, he scored 2 goals in the Champions League, he sat on the bench, he brought him in, and he made his contribution because he also assisted in that particular game. So it's standard. He has gone to a club where these are the things we've been looking at, at Manchester United. We've endured him. He has gone there. He's seen a different stick. The same thing with Garnacho. Garnacho is sitting on the bench now for Chelsea. His brother is not showing any tantrum now.
You have to go there.
Yeah.
Because of time, Timmy, I now have to take you to the Ballon d'Or. Tell me who's winning the men's version of the award. Ousmane Dembele of PSG, Harry Kane of Bayern Munich. There's Kylian Mbappe of Real Madrid, Rafinha of Barcelona. There's also Yamal, all right, of Barcelona, Mohamed Salah as well. Your take?
Ousmane Dembele all the way. He won 4 trophies last season. And for me, the criteria for winning Ballon d'Or should always be winning the Champions League or winning the European Championship. If you're not winning any of this, you shouldn't be in that bracket of...
In a year, there's not the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah, as far as there's no FIFA World Cup. Let's not forget, the UEFA, more or less, the continental body for Europe, UEFA, they've partnered with Ballon d'Or. And I think that they should be making the Champions League a priority for you
ahead of any competition.
Ahead of any competition. Because in the end, everybody they play league. The only place where we fit judge all of them on a neutral ground, na Champions League. Yeah. So for me, Ousmane Dembele, if Yamal, if he win at this evening, Riot go day. Might just talk my own. Riot go day.
Okay, we need to go because of time. We need to go. Timmy, tomorrow?
Hopefully, let's see. Fingers crossed.
Okay, Jude, thank you for coming through.
Always Kufre.
It was great having both of you. Timmy as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to my producer, engineer Michael. And of course, Olamide Abiodun is getting set to come have a treat with you later tonight. My name is Kufre Ekpe. That's been Champion Sport today on Champion 90.7 FM. Tomorrow, same time, we will be back. Good afternoon. Or is it good evening? Yes, good evening.